Oh yeah, please, please. This is your home. And temple. Namaste, pranams. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us here at Sankat Mochan Hanuman Temple. We're getting ready for our evening Arati program, and prior to the Arati starting at 6 p.m., we will have our usual Ramayana Kathā, our reading of the Tulsi Das Ramcharitamanas, and that'll begin at around 5:30 or so. And we have a special guest here joining us today, longtime friend of the satsang here, satsang member and student of Babaji's, and maestro with Sarod, Steve Oda. So he's going to play for a while prior to the reading, and then we'll go into the Ramayana reading, as I said. So we appreciate your sit, and if you can, quietly just feel this music go into the heart and help settle you here in front of Hanumanji. And we'll try to, if you have to have conversation going, kindly take it off to the side. Also during this time, we're going to be cleaning the temple for Arati, so the curtain will be closed and prasad line will be paused for this period. So enjoy the beautiful music. Thank you. Om.
Thank you, JD. As always, it's a real honor to be here and play some music at this wonderful, wonderful location. I'd like to start by playing an alap and jor in the late afternoon raga, Bimpalasi. Late afternoon raga called Bimpalasi. Thank you.
A short, light classical dune in Misraman. Huh? Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The first raga you played, is it Malkush?
Dimpalasi. Dimpalasi.
First one.
Dimpalasi. Late afternoon raga. It's similar, but...
Sounded like Hindulam, Karnataka Hindulam.
Ah, you're from the south?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very melodious.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Do not bring woe to your parents, O princely lad. My most cruel axe has exterminated even unborn offspring in the womb. Lakshmana smilingly retorted in a mild tone, Ah, the great sage considers himself an extraordinary warrior. He flaunts his axe before me again and again, as if he would blow away a mountain with a mere puff of breath. Here there is no pumpkin in the bud that would wither away as soon as an index finger is raised against it. It was only when I saw you armed with an axe and a bow and arrows that I spoke with some pride. Now that I understand you are a descendant of Bhrigu and perceive a sacred thread on your person, I suppress my anger and I put it up with whatever you say. In our family, valor is never shown against gods, the Brahmanas, devotees of Sri Hari, and the cow. For by killing any of these we incur sin, while a defeat at their hands will bring disrepute on us. We should throw ourselves at your feet even if you strike us. Every word of yours is as incisive as millions of thunderbolts. The bow and arrows and the axe are therefore an unnecessary burden to you. Pardon me, O great and illuminated hermit, if I have said anything unseemly at the sight of your weapons. Hearing this, the jewel of Bhrigu's race furiously rejoined in a deep voice. Listen, O Vishwamitra, this boy is stupid and perverse. He is in the grip of death himself and will bring destruction on his whole family. A dark spot on the moon like solar rays, he is utterly unruly, senseless, and reckless. The very next moment he shall find himself in the jaws of death. I proclaim it at the top of my voice, and none should blame me for it. Forbid him if you would save him, telling him of my glory, might, and fury. Said Lakshmana, Holy sir, so long as you live, who else can expiate on your bright glory? With your own lips you have recounted your exploits in diverse ways more than once. If you are not yet satisfied, tell us something more. Do not undergo a severe trial by putting any restraint upon your anger. You have assumed the role of a hero, and we are resolute and imperturbable. It is unbecoming of you to pour abuses. You seem to have death at your beck and call, and summon him again and again for my sake. Hearing Lakshmana's harsh words, Parashurama closed his hand upon his terrible axe. After this, let no one blame me. This sharp-tongued boy deserves his death. I have spared him long on account of his being a child. He is now surely going to die. Said Vishwamitra, pardon his offense. Holy men take no notice of the merits and demerits of a child. Sharp-edged is my axe, while I am pitiless and furious, and here stands before me an offender and an enemy of my guru. Even though he gives a retort, I spare his life solely out of regard for you, O Vishwamitra. Or else, hacking him to pieces with this cruel axe, I would have easily repaid the debt I have owed to my guru. Said Gadhi's son, Vishwamitra, smiling within himself, everything looks green to the sage, Parashurama. It is, however, the steel sword that he is faced with, and not with sugar extracted from a sugar cane, one that one could easily gulp. It is a pity that he does not understand and still persist in his ignorance. Said Lakshmana, is there anyone, O good sage, who is not aware of your gentle disposition, so well known throughout the world? You have fully paid the debt you owed to your parents. The only debt which now remains to be paid by you is the one you owe your guru, and that has been vexing your mind not a little. It looks as if you had incurred the debt on our account. And since a considerable time has now elapsed, a heavy interest has accumulated thereon. Now you get the creditor here, and I will at once repay him from my own purse." Hearing these sarcastic remarks, Parashurama grasped his axe, and the whole assembly cried, "Alack, alack, O chief of Bhrigus! You are still threatening me with your axe, but I am sparing you only because I hold you to be a Brahmana. O enemy of princes, you have never met champions staunch in fight. You have grown important in your own little home. O holy Brahmana!" Everyone exclaimed, "This is wholly undesirable." The Lord of Raghus now beckoned Lakshman to stop. "My lord," missed something. Perceiving the flames of Parashurama's passion growing with the pouring of oblation in the form of Lakshmana's rejoinder, the son of Raghu's race spoke words like water. "My lord, have compassion on a child, and wreak not your wrath on his guileless youngster, who has the mother's milk still on his lips. If he had any idea of your might, how could he be so foolish as to affront you? If children play some pranks, their teacher and parents are in raptures at it. Therefore take pity on him, knowing him to be a child and your servant, for you are an even-minded, good-tempered, forbearing, and illuminated anchorite." On hearing Sri Rama's words, Parashurama cooled down a little, but uttering something, Lakshmana smiled again. Seeing him smile, Parashurama flushed all over again with rage and said, "Rama, your brother is too wicked. Though fair of hue, he is black at heart. He has deadly poison and not the mother's milk on his lips. Perverse by nature, he does not take after you, nor does this vile imp regard me as the very image of death. I am your servant, O chief of sages. Put away your wrath and show mercy upon me. Anger will not mend the broken bow. Pray sit down. Your legs must be aching. If you are very fond of it, let us devise some means and mend it by calling some expert." Janaka was frightened at Lakshmana's words and said, "Pray be quiet. It is not good to transgress the limits of propriety." The people of the city trembled like aspen leaves. They said to themselves, "The younger prince is really very naughty." As the chief of Bhrigus heard the fearless words of Lakshmana, his whole body burnt with rage and his strength diminished. In a condescending manner, he said to Rama, "I'm sparing the boy because I know he is your younger brother. So fair and foul within, fair without and foul within, he resembles a jar of gold full of poison." Joining both his palms together and speaking in most humble, gentle, and placid tones, Sri Rama said, "I pray you, my lord, wise as you are by nature, pay no heed to the words of a child. A wasp and a child have a like disposition. Saints never find fault with them. Besides, the boy has done you no harm. It is I, my lord, who have offended you. Therefore, your reverence, deal me as your servant whatever you please, whether it be a favor or a frown, death or captivity. Tell me quickly the means, O chief of sages, by which your anger may be appeased." "I shall do accordingly," said the sage. "How can my passion be pacified, O Rama, when your younger brother is still looking mischievously at me? No, so long as I do not cut his throat with my axe, my wrath is ineffectual. At the very news of his cruel doings of my axe, the consorts of kings miscarry. To think that having the same axe still at my service, I should see this princeling, my enemy, still alive. My hand moves not through passion, consumes my breast, while this axe, which has slain kings without number, has gone blunt. Fate has turned against me. That is why I find my nature changed. Otherwise, compassion at any time is unknown to my heart. My tenderness of feelings has imposed on me a severe strain today." On hearing this, the son of Sumitra bowed his head with a smile. "The breeze of your benevolence is so befitting your frame. The words you speak appear as though blossoms drop from a tree. O reverend sir, when compassion sets your whole frame on fire, God help you when you are angry. Look here, Janaka, this stupid boy in his perversity intends to migrate to the region of death. Why not put him out of my sight? Though small to look at, the princeling is yet so wicked. Lakshmana, smiling, said to himself, shut your eyes and the whole world will vanish out of your sight. It is with your connivance that your brother addresses such pungent words to me. While you make false entreaties with joined palms, either give me satisfaction in combat or forswear your name of Rama. Give battle to me, O enemy of Shiva, without taking recourse to any wily trick, or else I will dispatch you and your brother both. While the chief of Bhugus raved with his axes raised on high, Sri Rama smiled within himself, bowing his head to the sage. While the fault is Lakshmana's, the sage's wrath against me. Sometimes meekness too begins much evil. A crooked man is reverenced by all. The crescent moon is not devoured by the demon Rahu. Said Rama, cease from wrath, O Lord of sages. The axe is in your hand. While my head is before you, do that, my lord, which may pacify your anger. Know me to be your servant. How can there be any duel between a master and his servant? Give up your anger, O great Brahmana. It is only because he saw you in the garb of a warrior that the boy said something to you, and he cannot be blamed for it. Seeing you equipped with an axe, arrows, and bow, the boy took you for a champion and got excited. Although he knew you by name, he did not recognize you in person and answered you according to his lineage. If you had come as a sage, the child, O holy sir, would have placed the dust of your feet on his head. Forgive the error of one who did not know you. A Brahmana should have plenty of mercy within his heart. What comparison, my lord, can there be between you and me? Tell me, is there any affinity between the head and feet? Mine is a small name consisting of a single word, Rama, whereas yours is a long one, having the word Parashu prefined to Rama. O Lord, whereas there is only one merit in me, and that is my bow, while you have got 9 most auspicious characteristics, such as tranquility, restraint, penance, purity, forbearance, straightforwardness, knowledge, supreme knowledge, and faith in God. I am thus inferior to you in every way. Therefore, O holy sir, forgive my faults. Again and again did Rama address his namesake as a sage and as a great Brahmana, till the chief of Bhugus exclaimed in his fury, you are as perverse as your younger brother. You know me to be a mere Brahmana. I tell you what kind of Brahmana I am. Know that the bow is my sacrificial ladle, the arrows my oblation, and my wrath the blazing fire. The brilliant fourfold forces, consisting of the horse, the elephant, the chariots, and foot pieces within this very axe, are offered as sacrifice. In this way I have performed millions of sacrifices in the shape of armed conflicts, accompanied by the muttering of sacred formulas in the shape of war cries. My glory is not known to you. That is why you address me in your arrogance. Why you address me in contemptuous terms, mistaking me for a mere Brahmana. Since you have broken the bow, your arrogance has transgressed all limits. In your self-esteem, you stand as if you have conquered the whole world. Said Rama, O sage, think before you speak. Your anger is out of all proportions with my error, which is a trifling one. Worn out as it was, the bow broke at my mere touch. What reason have I to be proud? Hear the truth, O Lord of the Bhugas. If, as you say, I treat you with disrespect because you are a Brahmana, who is that gallant warrior in this world to whom I would bow my head out of fear? A god, a demon, a king, or a body of warriors, whether my equal in strength or more powerful than myself, should any of these challenge me to combat, I would gladly fight with him, no matter if it is death himself. For he who is born a Kshatriya and is yet afraid of fighting is a veritable wretch and has brought a slur on his lineage. I tell you, in my natural way, and not by way of tribute to my race, Raghu's descendants are not afraid even death in battle. Such is the glory of the Ramana race that he who is afraid of you, Brahmanas, is rid of all fear. When he heard these soft yet profound words of Sri Rama, Parashurama's mind was disillusioned. O Rama, take this bow of Rama's Lord and draw it, so that my doubts may be cleared. As Parashurama offered his bow, it passed into Rama's hands of its own accord, and Parashurama felt amazed at this.
He then recognized Sri Ram's might, and his whole frame was thrilled with joy, and his hair stood on end. Joining his palms together, he addressed the following words to Sri Ram, his heart bursting with emotion. Glory to Sri Ram, who delights Raghu's line, even as the sun delights a cluster of lotuses. Glory to the fire that consumes the forest of the demon race. Glory to the benefactors of God, brahmanas and cows. Glory to him who takes away pride, ignorance, passion, and delusion. Glory to him who is an ocean of humility, amiability, compassion, and goodness, and a past master in the art of speech. Glory to the delighter of his servants, and to him who is graceful of every limb, and whose form possesses the beauty of a million cupids. How can I, with one tongue, utter your praises? Glory to him who sports in the mind of the great Lord Shiva as a swan in the lake Mansarova. In ignorance, I have said much that was unseemly. Therefore, pardon me, both brothers, abodes of forgiveness that you are. Glory, glory, all glory to the chief of the Raghu's race. So saying, the Lord of the Birgus withdrew to the forest to practice penance. The wicked kings were all seized with imaginary fears, and the cowards quietly fled in all directions. The gods sounded their kettle drums and rained down flowers on the Lord. All the people of the city rejoiced, and their hearts' agony, born of ignorance, disappeared. There was a tumultuous clash of musical instruments, and everyone displayed charming and auspicious objects. Troops of fair-faced, bright-eyed damsels sang melodious songs in chorus, their voices resembling the notes of a cuckoo. Janak's joy was beyond description, as that of a born beggar who has found a treasure. Sita, rid of her fears, and was glad as a young of a kakara bird at the rising of the moon. Janak made obeisance before Kausika and said, "It is due to your grace, my lord, that Sri Ram has been able to break the bow. I am blessed by the pair of brothers. Pray tell me now, reverend sir, what it behooves me to do." Said the sage, "Listen, wise king. The marriage depended on the bow and took place directly as the bow broke, as is well known to all, including gods, human beings, and nagas. Nevertheless, you now go and perform according to the family usage whatever practices are prescribed in the Ved, after consulting the brahmanas, the elders of your family, and your own preceptor. Go and dispatch to the city of Ayodhya messengers who may invite King Dasarat and bring him here." Janak gladly responded, "Very well, gracious sir." And summoning the messengers, he dispatched them that very moment. He then summoned the leading citizens, and they all came and respectfully bowed their head. "Decorate the bazaars, the streets, houses, temples, and the whole city on all its four sides," was the royal command. They returned in joy, each to its own house. The king then sent for his own servants and instructed them, "Erect pavilions of all kind with due care." Bowing to the king's order, They returned glad of heart and sent for a number of clever artisans skilled in erecting pavilions. Invoking Brahma, they set to work and made pillars of gold in the shape of plantain trees. With leaves and fruits of emeralds and blossoms of rubies, seeing this most marvelous specimen of art, the creator himself was lost in bewilderment. The bamboo sticks were made of emeralds. They were so straight and knotted that they could not be distinguished from real ones. Creepers, known by the name of piper beetle, the leaves of which are chewed, were artistically fashioned in gold and looked so charming with their leaves that they could not be marked as artificial. These creepers were intertwined into so many cords for holding the bamboos together with beautiful strings of pearls inserted here and there. After much cutting, carving, and inlaying, they made lotuses of rubies, emeralds, diamonds, and turquoises. They also fashioned bees and birds of varied plumage, which buzzed and whistled in the rustling breeze. On the pillars, they sculpted images of gods, all standing with articles of good omen in their hands. Squares were drawn on the floor in various naturally charming devices and filled in with elephant pearls. They made the most lovely mango leaves of great graven sapphires with blossoms of gold and bunches of emerald fruits glistening on the silken cord. They further made charming and excellent festoons which looked like so many nooses prepared as it were by Cupid. They also made up many auspicious vases, as well as beautiful flags and banners and curtains and chowries. The marvelous pavilion, with a number of beautiful lamps consisting of brilliant gems, was beyond description. What poet has the wit wherewith to describe the pavilion which is going to shelter Vidya's daughter as the bride, the canopy which is going to hold Sri Ram, the ocean of beauty and perfection, as the bridegroom? Must be the glory of all the three worlds. The splendor that belonged to King Janak's palace was to be seen in every house of that city to him who beheld Tirahuta. During that time, all the 14 spheres appeared of small account. The prosperity that reigned in the house of the humblest citizen was enough to fascinate even the Lord of Celestials. The magnificence of the city wherein dwelt Goddess Lakshmi in the charming disguise of a mortal woman made even Sharda and the thousand-tongued Shesha falter in describing it. Janak's messengers arrived at Sri Ram's sacred birthplace and rejoiced to behold the charming city. They sent in word at the entrance of the royal palace, hearing of the arrival of King Dasarath, summoned them to his presence. With due reverence, they delivered the letter, and the king, in his joy, rose to receive it in person. As he read the letter, tears rushed to his eyes. The hair on his body stood erect, and his heart was full. With Ram and Lakshman in his heart and the valuable letter in his hand, he remained mute, and he could not utter a word, either good or bad. Then, recovering himself, he read out the letter, and the court rejoiced to hear the authentic news. Obtaining the news at that very spot where he had been playing about, Bharat came with his playmates and his brother, and with the utmost modesty and affection asked, "Father, where has the letter come from?" "Are my two beloved brothers doing well? And in what land do they happen to be?" On hearing these words, steeped in love, the king read the letter over again. On hearing the letter, the two brothers experienced a thrill of joy. Their whole frame was bursting with an excess of emotion. The court was particularly delighted to see Bharat's love. The king then seated the messengers close by him and spoke to them in a sweet and winning tone. "Tell me, friends, are the two boys well? Have you seen them well with your own eyes? The one dark and the other fair of hue? They are equipped with bow and quiver, and are of tender age, and accompanied by the sage Kaushika. Do you recognize them? If so, tell me something about their temperament." Overwhelmed with love, the king asked thus again and again, "From the day the sage took them away, it is only today that I have obtained authentic news about them. Tell me how King Videha was able to know them." At these fond words, the messenger smiled. "Listen, O crest jewel of kings. There is no one so blessed as you, who have for your sons, Ram and Lakshman, the two ornaments of the universe. No inquiry is needed in respect of your sons, who are lions among men, in the light of the universe, and before those renowned in glory, the moon looks dim and sun appears cool. About them, my lord, you ask how they came to be recognized? Does one take a lamp in one's hand to see the sun? On the occasion of Sita's self-election of her husband, had assembled numerous princes, each one of whom was a greater champion than the rest, but not one of them could stir Shambhu's bow, and all the mighty heroes failed. The might of all those who were proud of their valor in the three worlds were crushed by it. Even the demon Bana, who could lift Mount Meru, lost heart and retired after pacing around the bow. And even he, Ravana, who had lifted up Mount Kailash in mere sport, was worsted in that assembly. On that occasion we submit, O great king, Sri Ram, the jewel of Raghu's race, snapped the bow without the least exertion, even as an elephant would break the stalk of a lotus. Hearing the news, the chief of the Birgus came in fury and indulged in much browbeating. But seeing Sri Ram's strength, he handed his bow to the latter, and after much supplication withdrew to the woods. Even as Rama, O king, is unequaled in strength, Lakshman too is a mine of glory, at whose very sight the kings trembled as elephants at the gaze of a young lion. Now that we must have seen your two sons, my lord, no one catches our eye any longer." The messenger's eloquent speech, which was full of love, glorifying, and expressive of the heroic sentiment, attracted all. The king and his whole court were overwhelmed with emotion and began to offer lavish gifts to the messengers. They, however, closed their ears in protest, crying, "This is ethical." Everyone was delighted to note their sense of propriety. The king then rose, going up to Vashita, gave the letter to him, and sending for the messengers with due courtesy, related the whole story to his preceptor. The guru was highly pleased to hear the news and said, to a virtuous man, the world abounds in happiness. As rivers run into the sea, although the latter has no craving for them, so joy and prosperity come unasked and of their own accord to a pious soul. Just as you are given to the service of your preceptor, the Brahmanas and cows, as well as the gods, Queen Kashaya is no less devout than you. A pious soul like you there has never been, nor is, nor shall be in this world. Who can be more blessed than you, O king, who has a son like Rama, and whose 4 worthy children are all valiant, submissive, true to their vow of piety, and oceans of goodness? You are blessed indeed for all time. Now prepare the marriage procession to the sound of the kettle drums.